Alright, this is my video on how to change a laptop screen for an HP Model DV6-6C10us. I got the laptop screens here. This is the first time I'm opening them. And they look like this. I got two of them, so if I mess one up, I can start over. You have to open this. I've taken the battery out and I held the power button down for a little while to make sure that all power was off of the machine. And then you have to take these little screws here, which are behind these little covers, out. So I'm going to use a utility knife to pop the covers off. And set them right here. And then I take a screwdriver and take those screws out. And you kind of just work this bezel off. All the way around. I've never done this before in my life, so I guess if that means that I'm doing it, it must be fairly simple. I have watched other videos of other similar computers being done. Which is what is on this computer here, in case I need to go cross-reference. So once I have that off, you can see the laptop's screen, and they appear to be the same screen size and everything, so that should work. So then I can see that there are some screws holding the screen up here, and take those off, and these are smaller than the ones that held the bezel on, so I'm going to set them in a different location. Okay, so I had to review some things again, and so I've taken these two screws out up here, and then on the side there's 4 screws on this computer, so I'm going to loosen. There's 3 screws on each side, but I'm not going to take them off. 3 small black Phillips head screws that I'm going to loosen up down low, so that I can tip the screen forward like this. And that will enable me to get these little brass colored screws out off the sides. So that's what I'm doing now. That's that side. Okay, I've taken out 8 screws, and then you can just slowly tip this forward. You don't want to pull it too hard. There's lots of little wires. Well, really just one connector. It says don't touch everywhere on here, but I'm going to touch it anyway. So apparently this has been taped down. So I'm going to pull that up really carefully. Well, it just came out, so I don't know if that's good or bad. We'll find out. So that's this. Everything seems to line up. So set this one aside. And I'll attempt to use this connector back into here. That was fairly simple. But this little connector here came undone, so I'm going to just put it back together. Not really sure how it was, so that's great. Okay. Those are very small wires, so I'd be careful with those. Trying to get this wire back where it kind of has these little clips that they hold together with. So I've got those back where I believe they should go. So I'll just set this back in there. And use the tweezers to kind of put the wire back in exactly where they were. It would be a good idea to have taken a better note of where those were at, but I think you can kind of tell. Okay. Well, the installation from here would just be the reverse of putting those 8 screws back in the sides, and then the 2 smaller screws that hold the bracketry up here, and then the 2 still small but larger screws on the bezel once that's on, and then to replace the little bezel covers, screw covers from the bezel. I think that's it. Hopefully it works. So I've got this screen back on. That was really simple. The hardest part was kind of making sure that the wires were correct down at the bottom. It took me about 3 minutes. Everything else just snapped on, the screws went right back together. And it came on and worked perfectly the first time. I think this is funny because I paid $50 for a replacement screen. I think it was from laptopscreen.com. And it took me as long as this video is, plus maybe 5 minutes to do this. And I did have like $15 shipping. But also, HP quoted me, I think, $250 to have this screen replaced. So I think I did all right. Anyway, it was pretty easy. It was really easy.